I'm thinking of moving the garden bed. Hot banana. I'm gonna put some eggshells at the bottom. I don't know what it's going to do. Hopefully this Starbucks hack would work. And look at the root system on this. Officially breaking my plant ban for the year. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Hi everyone, it's Marian and welcome to another episode of my backyard series. And I'm really excited for today's episode because not that we're already at the final stretch, but we're already coming very close, pretty close to the vision that I had for this backyard when I first moved in. And to just recap, when I first moved in here, I knew it was like a pretty decent sized backyard, but it had a lot of like stuff, bulk trash that needs to be getting rid of, take care of like the grass, the weeds, which I did in the very first episode of my backyard series. And then I set up two raised garden beds that I got from Vigo Garden, one 4x4 and one 11x8. The 11x8 is going to be like my vegetable and herb garden, and I already planted a few herbs as well as a couple of marigolds that I grew from seed and a couple of winter crops. And I have the 4x4, which I'm going to turn into a tropical bed, which is what we are going to do today. So I'm very excited about that. If you recall, in my previous plays, I did create a tropical bed. For this one, I'm trying to recreate it, but make it better, hopefully. So we'll see if we can accomplish that in this video, and also share with you some more updates on the 11x8 vegetable garden bed, because there are updates, and as well as the other stuff that I've done with the backyard, furniture finds that I got from Facebook Marketplace for free, and spoiler alert, this hammock that I have installed that I got from Aldi. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Marianne. Welcome to my Oasis Life, where I take you along my houseplant and sustainable lifestyle journey and share with you some of my tips and tricks along the way. I also share some personal and travel vlogs here and there. So if that type of content interests you, make sure to subscribe to my channel before the end of this video, and make sure to also like and comment down below. I would love to hear from you. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So with this garden bed, as you can see, I already have like one monstera in ground, but this one is actually not planted yet. But I'm thinking of moving the garden bed like a little bit further to the left because it's just easier access. And I kind of regret like flushing it all the way to that end because it's going to be hard to like garden. It's 4x4. I still kind of want it against the back fence because I want the monstera to grow on it, but I kind of need access over there. And I removed some soil in here to use in the other garden bed, and I just got a few more garden soil to fill this one. But before I refill it, I'm probably just gonna try to see if I can move this garden bed at least a foot away from the fence. So let's see if we can make that happen. So I was actually able to move it a foot away from the corner with not much problem. So I'm just gonna be filling it up with soil and then planting later. With this one, I don't really know what to do yet. I mean, I'm definitely gonna keep that empty, so I'm probably just gonna put mulch, but I don't know if I'm gonna plant stuff here. I might plant at least one or two of the marigolds here, maybe. We will see. Three more marigolds from my ADVOCACY garden planter, and we're gonna plant it on that side where I dug some holes. Alright, so I planted all three marigolds here, and I'm gonna use the clay that I dug up to cover the top of it and then mulch it all the way there. So part 2 of refilling this bed, remember we filled this up in my, I think, first episode of the backyard series, but I had to transfer some of the soil in the other garden bed. And this one I got on sale during the Lowe's Spring Fest. It is like for in-ground use, but you know what, we'll make do. Soil is soil, and if I have to make amendments to it, I will, but for now I'm just gonna fill it up as is. And I got like 6 of this. I already used one, so I think I'll fill it up with 4. We'll see if we need the 5th one. this Mustard Deliciosa is the one that I originally got from Trader Joe's that I thought was sport variegated, but turns out not really. It didn't continue to show variegation regardless of what I did with it, but Mustard Deliciosa is still a great plant. And before actually depotting it, I already cut it as if I was gonna make propagations, but didn't repot right away or remove it from the pot right away. I just like let it sit there, allow it to grow more roots. So as you can see, all these cuttings are already rooted by the time I'm planting it in this tropical bed garden. As far as the root plants, I put them in nursery pots. There's I think about like 5 of them as well, that I'm just waiting for them to sprout leaves of their own, and maybe I'll plant them somewhere in the garden too, or just give them away. I don't know yet, but I really love this. Whenever I go on vacation in a tropical place like Hawaii, I love seeing monsteras growing from the ground. So that's kind of like the effect that I'm going for with this one, and I'm really excited to see it grow. Next, I'm adding more tropical plants in here. That's part of my plant collection: the snow queen pothos, the autograph plant, the taniki, and the pink princess philodendron. And apologies, the clips that I took for this part were pretty terrible, so I could only show you the taniki planting, but you would see updates on the garden and on those plants later on in this video as well. So I just came from the farmer's market, and let me share with you my haul of vegetables, herbs, and annuals that I got for my garden. But before I do that, I just want to share that there is nothing wrong with buying transplants or seedlings for your garden, especially if you are a beginner gardener. And I know a lot of gardeners out there, especially online here on YouTube, would say grow something from seed, grow them from seed. It's so much better, it's so much cheaper. Yes, it is. And I've grown plants from seeds in the past, and they are definitely a lot cheaper. But if you're a beginner gardener and you want your experience as a first-time gardener to be a lot less stressful and a lot more enjoyable, sometimes it is better to just buy the transplant, especially if it's a plant that you're growing for the first time. Seeding is great. As mentioned, it is cheaper. You get a lot more plants. But if you're only planning to grow a couple of tomato plants, a couple of pepper plants, it's okay to just go get transplant plants or seedlings from big box stores, from grocery stores, or in my case, the farmer's market. I would advise though, like checking out prices. You don't have to buy the first one you see, and make sure to have an idea or do a little bit research of what kind of transplants you should be buying, because some of them are worth it and some of them aren't. So the neighbors turned on their AC. I have no control over that. Sorry for the background noise, the birds and everything. I am in my backyard. But yeah, let me go ahead and share with you the stuff that I bought from the farmer's market. And like I said, I know I could have grown these for seeds, but just for my own convenience, I just moved into this place. I was starting everything from scratch. So for me, I made a decision to go get transplants instead of growing everything from seed. For the vegetable garden, as you can see in the updates, I have herbs in it. The winter crops are not working out too well, like the kale. I was going to add more winter crops, but seeing what happened to the kale because of my slug issue, I just decided not to add more winter crops and just move on to summer crops. And when it came to summer crops, I have experience growing two really well, which is tomatoes and peppers. So that's what I just got for the garden bed. I'm not really trying to grow any more kind of summer crops, just stuck to what I know, tomatoes and peppers. But I did get new varieties of peppers and tomatoes that I haven't tried before and grow them in my 11 by 8 vegetable garden bed. So I kind of like want to experience growing these plants for an entire season in this space. And if I still live here next summer, then maybe I'll venture out to other crops that I know would be suitable for this type of environment. And if I haven't mentioned in previous videos, this is a south-facing backyard, so it gets really strong direct sun. For the peppers, I got 3 different kinds. First one is the California Wonderful. This is a sweet pepper, and it's supposed to grow red and green. I guess if you like let it ripe on the vine for longer, it becomes red. And then I also got the Yellow Bell sweet pepper. So I got 2 sweet peppers, and I was hoping to see if they have like jalapeno still, because the last time I was there they had jalapeno. They didn't have any. They had habaneros, but I don't really see myself using habanero a lot. But then I saw they have hot banana, not sweet banana, hot banana. So I'm really excited about this one. This is something that I could use in my kitchen a lot, and I love it on pizzas. So I'm excited to grow this one. So for tomatoes, only got 2 varieties. This one is the red plum. I don't know how different it is from the Roma tomato that we usually get from the grocery store, but that's kind of like the tomato I want to grow, but didn't exactly have Roma tomato. So the first one I got was the red plum, and the second one is the Italian plum. And this one actually has 2 plants in here, so technically I have 3 tomato plants. Let's see how this goes. I think I'm gonna really like it. But I tried to read up on the more pest resistant herbs, and I already got the rosemary, I got the lavender, the oregano, and I also got the sage. So I think this one is also pest resistant, hopefully. And I didn't find any parsley or thyme, those are pest resistant as well. But I got cilantro, so hopefully this would work with deterring pests for the other plants that I have in the 11 by 8 garden bed. The thing with buying cilantro that I want to share is make sure they're not bolted. Actually, for any of these plants, make sure they're not bolted yet before you buy them, because that's no good. And for the 4x4 tropical bed, as I've shared with you in earlier clips, I planted my Monstera deliciosa, my Taniki, my Pink Princess, my Snow Queen pothos, and a couple of other plants in there, even like a Hoya carrii. But the thing is, I ran into 2 issues. One, even though I put that in the side of the backyard where it only gets hit by east facing light, sometime in the mid-afternoon it still gets hit by the south facing sunlight, so it's still too much for the tropical plants that I had in there. Because they are tropical plants, most of these are understory plants, they don't do well with direct sun. So I got some annuals that I could plant in there that do well in direct sun. I still have a couple of marigold plants that I haven't planted yet that I could also add to that garden bed. But I also got Inca, which is also a type of marigold, and I haven't grown this before, but it is basically a marigold. It is a marigold, and as far as I know, or I was told because I asked questions when I was there, this blooms the entire summer, so hopefully it does. So I got this too, and I got 4 of these wizard mix. I think it's a type of coleus, maybe, I don't know, and this is what I'm going to put up front. And I think I might have shared previously that annuals are not really worth it. Go with perennials. Perennials are also a little bit more expensive than annuals, and annuals is probably one of those plants that's better to grow from seed. It's a lot cheaper, even though like buying these is only $1.25 each, is a lot more cheaper to grow them from seed. Like the marigolds that I grew came from a 50-cent packet. I got about almost a dozen plants out of it, and they're relatively easy to seed compared to like seeding a tomato or seeding a pepper or even some of the herbs. But like I said, this year I wanted to go for convenience, and not gonna lie, a little bit of instant gratification, because I kind of like want to see the vision pretty quickly instead of like waiting for long and like putting a lot of effort. As I mentioned, this is a new space for me, so I'm not really sure how plants grow in this space yet. So I just kind of like want to see something that's already a little bit grown to just get that a bit of satisfaction. And everything all in all was $29. So I did get a good amount of plants, and as mentioned, the vegetables and herbs $3 each, the annuals $1.25 each. So I think that's a good deal, but it's still, yes, a bit more expensive than just growing all of these from seed. But again, just weigh the pros and cons, especially if you're a beginner gardener, whether you want to do the whole process from seed. I personally think if you're a beginner gardener, skip that for the 2nd season or 3rd season of your gardening experience. But my main point is, if you just want to go get transplants, don't be shamed about it, or don't feel embarrassed, especially if you're first time gardener, because it's okay. We all have to start somewhere, and you can start with transplants. It's totally okay. But yeah, I rambled on for way too long already, so let's plant all of this right now. It's a sunny day, so I have my plants out, and here is the vegetable garden bed. As you can see on this side, the arugula seeds have started to grow, which is great. The marigolds, I'm starting to have blooms. The rosemary is doing well, but as you can see, this one, I just recently planted this as a propagation. It has holes, bites from the garden slugs, and I really hate them. Still figuring out the best way to get rid of them. And same thing is happening with the kales. You can see right here, and also right here. And the kale that I had here that I was hoping would grow, because the slugs also ate it all, it didn't grow back. And the funny thing too is the slugs also started to eat the marigolds, and I can show you the ones that I planted on the other side. They completely obliterated it, but now I think they have stopped, at least the ones on the garden bed, but this hasn't bloomed yet. But in comparison to the ones that I had in the germination planter that has grown so much, but this one hasn't grown that much yet. This one has a bud coming in, but still much smaller than the one that I have in the germination planter. And the oregano, this one is growing strong. This grows literally like weed. And this is the lavender, and as you can see, this is where my dog loves to dig on this garden bed.
Full stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I.
So since these are two plants in one, I want to see if I can separate it. I feel like this is barely in the root system at all. I'm gonna put some eggshells at the bottom. I don't know what it's going to do. They said to actually crack a whole egg in there, but I'm just gonna do eggshells. There's a little bit of egg whites. We'll see what happens. Moving on to the peppers, I accidentally cut the top off, but it's okay. You're supposed to cut off the top of your peppers anyways to help them grow stronger. So
yeah, I'd give it all up now just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found. You're the rose.
My main concern is the slugs not getting to them. So I actually don't know what to do to prevent that tonight. But I might put some coffee grounds and we'll see what else we can do. Do a little bit of research on how to prevent those slugs. I mean, I could get DE. I should have gotten DE, but I've never used DE before. And we'll just see how it goes tonight. So when it starts to flower like that, I think you're supposed to top it off, because while it's great that it's already flowering and blooming, it shouldn't when the plant is that size. You just want it to concentrate on growing. So I topped it off, and I'm going to top this off as well. There you go. So the kales I transferred into the containers where the tomatoes and peppers were, and hopefully they would grow better here. This way I can also move them away from like direct sun so that they also don't bolt, and hopefully they'll grow bigger. Now I'm just like watering them and fertilizing them now. Hopefully these kales would do better. So I have coffee grounds here that I got from Starbucks. If you don't know, they have a Grounds for Garden program where you could ask for their used coffee grounds and they'll give it to you for free, and you can use it for your compost, you can use it for your garden. I'm gonna put this in the 11x6 garden to hopefully help prevent slugs and snails. And like, there's a debate about this, if this actually works, but I want to try everything to prevent slugs and snails from eating my plants, especially since I just planted new ones. So that's what I'm gonna do. See what the slugs have done to my basil. They've obliterated it. So hopefully the Starbucks hack would work. Alright, and I know I should be watering when it's like not this hot, but I'm about to leave to go to my parents, so
to say that I love you. Ooh, ooh, you. Ooh.
I forgot to mention I got this hydrangea from Trader Joe's, officially breaking my plant ban for the year, but it was like $10. And if you go get this at Home Depot, it's like at least $20. So I do need to like hydrate it though, so that it won't look so wilted. And here's the hydrangeas, all perked up again after I watered it. Looks beautiful. I hope it produces different color flowers, but we will see. I kind of like prefer it white or like the bluish kind, but this is cute as well. All right, so this is now the marigolds a couple weeks later after I planted them. You could barely see them because the garden slugs got to them. As you can see, I might put up some eggshells to help like stop the slugs from going. I don't really know if it worked, probably not. And this one was completely obliterated. And I potted some monsteras that I separated from the like whole pot that I put on this bed. So this one is doing well. I have no problems with that, but we'll see what happens to this ones. I have a couple more here. These two are fairly like doing pretty well. I can see like new growth already. The roots still look healthy. Those on the side are not faring too well. So, and I have my peony here that is about to bloom. The one in my parents' place is already like starting to bloom, so I'm really excited about that. And here we are so far with a tropical bed garden. Now it's like tropical / annual bed garden, and the monsteras are doing well. The tiniki I moved further back because, as you can see, the leaves are getting sunburned as well. I did that the same with the pink princess. I left some of the leaves down here, but I already plucked them out to show you like how much leaf burn they're getting. And then the autograph plant is doing well because I knew beforehand to like plant it behind the monstera leaves, like the Hoya carrii that I propagated burnt. But yep, and here are the annuals that I got from the farmers market. The wizard mix I'm planting up front, and then the Inca marigolds I'm planting either on each side, or maybe I'll alternate it with the marigolds that I did grow from seed. Here I have the two marigolds that I grew from seed that I kept in my A-Hope germination kit or planter. As you can see, they've grown huge, bigger than the ones that I planted already in my garden beds, and definitely fared a lot better than the ones I planted on the side that have been eaten by garden slugs. And look at the root system on this, crazy. So I'm gonna plant them here, I think.
So slow, hold you in my arms, won't let go. The world around could pass us by, a thunderstorm, a lightning strike, as we hold each other tight. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows.
There's tons of ants on the garden bed. Alright, I have to look that up. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm gonna do some research and find out if I need to get rid of them or just let them be. There's so many of them. So just to give a proper visual when I say about the scent pattern for this 4x4 bed, it's about 12:30, and you can see right like where the annuals are and where the tropical plants are, there's a clear divide. Like the sun is hitting where the annuals are, which is the front of the 4x4, and the monsteras and the tiniki and the other tropical plants remains in the shade. Like the fence is giving them shade the entire day, but the front half doesn't get that shade maybe until late in the afternoon. So as the day goes, this would get shaded from right to left, but for most part of the day they're gonna get hit by direct sun. So while there is fencing over here and there's trees, the sun is still pretty strong for the tropical plants and they get burned, as you can see with the pink princess and the tiniki before I moved them further back. So that's why I decided to just plant annuals up in here and couldn't fill it up with more tropical plants unless I create some sort of canopy for it so it will get some shade all throughout the day, but I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose, but we will see. I placed this turf grass specifically for my dog, so he wants to play in the backyard, he can be here, he doesn't have to be on the grass. But look at where he's now. He's lying down here next to the trash can, sleeping on the concrete like a common street dog in the Philippines. Okay. Hi, baby. So I'm gonna share another Facebook Market find. It's this bistro table. It's like separated right now because I'm trying to clean it where I'm about to clean it. Originally, the seller was selling it for like 60. I asked if she's gonna accept 50. She said yes. But then when she was taking it apart, it kind of like broke or something. So she ended up giving it for free, which is great because seeing it now, I wouldn't pay $50 for it even if it wasn't broke. But it's not really that broke. It's just like this part, like that part is broke. And this one is a little wiggly, but I just have to tighten it up. But I want to clean it first and then like show you what it looks like. Right, here's the table. It still needs to be dried. It's kind of stable. What I do love about it is the detailing here that makes it look like rattan, but it's not actually rattan, it's metal. And it is sturdy, so it's usable. It's good for now, but I'm thinking of painting it so that it would match the color of the rattan chairs that I got. I got this set of 4 chairs with a rattan seat for free on Facebook Marketplace. Like, they're in perfect condition, they are sturdy, none of the chairs are wobbly, and I got them for free from Facebook Marketplace. And here they are together, the rattan chairs and the patio table that I got from Facebook Marketplace, both for free. Even though they don't color match exactly, they still look good together. And on it I have my small plants with this rattan plate that I got from Goodwill a couple years ago, and the 2 other chairs I did place in my bedroom, so if you've seen my bedroom update video you will see it in there. But I love it. So I'm about to hang this hammock on the deck, well, in the patio, that I got from Aldi for like $12. Since I am not sure exactly where I want it permanently, I'm using the strap for now and see if it works. So originally I wanted here, right? But I thought I was gonna get like, you know, the bed hammock, not the chair hammock. And it doesn't have a bearing up here for me to hang it from the ceiling. So what only really works here is like a bed hammock. So I could either put it here on the bearings on here, but I feel like it would block the garden. I can't put it like where I'm standing because it would block the door. So the only place I could put it, it's here, but it's right next to the AC. So we'll see how it works out. That's why I'm just using the straps so that if I don't like it, if it doesn't work out, I can still move it around. So I thought it was recording when I was like trying to set it up, but the camera was too high. But here it is. As you can see, it's right next to the AC. It is not as blocking as I thought it would be. So maybe I would actually move it further up front. I actually really like it. And it hangs a bit low, but I think it's supposed to be low because it says it can't be like more than 24 centimeters off the ground. And that is the latest update on my backyard. I'm really excited. It's really coming along. The vision is coming to life. But of course, a garden is never finished. There's always going to be work to be done. So I'm excited for like summer to see the vegetables grow, the tomatoes, the peppers, see how the tropical bed is coming along. Hopefully I'll solve my pest problem really soon. And as far as the furniture, I think I'm quite there already with the patio set. I really like the ones that I got from Facebook Marketplace, and this swing hammock that I got from Aldi is such a great find. It was only $12. So if you have an Aldi near you, check out their Aldi find section because this is where I found mine. It was only $12. I couldn't believe it. Even though I wanted like a different type of hammock, I think I'm liking this one. I'm not sure if I'm still gonna get like the bed type of hammock, but I'm very excited to give you a full tour of my backyard really soon. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, please do subscribe. I come up with videos every week. And if you haven't yet, check out these videos up here until my next one. But until then, I see you. I appreciate you. Take care of yourself and each other. And have a plentiful day. Bye.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain.